host of the Gridiron.
So, on to some more bad news. Of course, unfortunately, as we all kind of knew this here, Sexy and Theo are officially put on the season-ending injured reserve list. So, two very promising, obviously Sexy, seasons were obviously come to an end, unfortunately. Now, Theo was coming on. I kept saying this. I was just surprised. It was just like, the first 3 or 4 games, it was just like, do we even have tight ends on the roster? What the are we doing? I mean, I know we don't have, the greatest bunch of tight ends. I get that and all that stuff, but it's just like, Theo had 3 receptions after 4 games. Bellinger, and we had Bellinger and Manhurts, and Johnson is like, it's like there's like no receptions from. I was like, we need a receiving, we need a receiving threat of a tight end. Yeah, that would be fantastic. That would really, really be nice. Somebody to pair up with Theo Johnson. But I mean, since then he's had 29 receptions, but I think he had like 8 in his last 5 games. I think he had like 18 receptions. He had 5 against the Cowboys. So he was coming on. He was coming on. I'm not saying he was going to wind up with 70 receptions, but he was on pace for 40 to 45 receptions. And you consider that the first 4 games, basically he had nothing. He was on pace for it's going to be a reasonably nice rookie season, especially for a 4th round tight end. So hopefully, if he comes, if comes back from his injury next season, of course, if Daboll's still here, if we get a quarterback, yada, 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 all that stuff and everything, hopefully Theo can pick up where he was left off at, especially if Daboll's still here and he has the same system, there'd be another year in the same system, right? I mean, there's no reason why. I'm not saying the guy's going to be an all-pro or nothing like that, but there's no reason why the guy can't grab you, 50 catches a game, a season or so, maybe even a little bit more, right? Well, as I said, it would be nice if we had. Now he is like a mismatch because he's 6'6". He's fast. He's tall. Freakish athlete. So he could be. As I said, he could certainly get his 50 receptions a season, possibly more. Who knows? But once again, he's got to stay healthy. A very solid pick for the Giants, Theo Johnson in the 4th round, tight end in the 4th round. The thing that just kind of makes you scratch your head is well, maybe Theo is kind of trending up. Why is Bellinger kind of like just kind of what's going on with him? So we got Bellinger and Manhurts who are basically null and void as far as any type of offensive weaponry at all, as far as from the tight ends. But I mean, Theo Johnson was a very good pick for the Giants. As I said, I'd like to see us get another a good receiving tight end. I mean, unfortunately, it's another season going into the draft and all that, and we have more holes to fill than we have draft picks. So. But then, of course, once again, good old Sexy. It's a shame with him because one thing was usually with him was he got to play his games. He got but he had 9 sacks after whatever it was. I can't remember, 8 games or something like that. Yeah. He had more. He was averaging more than a sack a game for a while. I think the last 3 or 4 games he didn't have a sack, right? But it's a career high for him, 9 sacks, and unfortunately, his season's ending, 5 games early. But once again, he graded out really, really well. The thing is, what I'd like to say is, once again, speaking of having holes, we need another defensive tackle. If we get one via free agency, I don't know if there are any available or who's available. That I don't know. But I mean, what's up, buddy? Creative Solutions in the house. What's up, Al? But, the thing is, if you get a defensive tackle in free agency, a good one, it's going to cost you, right? If you get a good one in the draft, it's going to cost you a good draft, a good, high draft pick, but it'll be cheap, right? The thing is, I said, our run game is god awful, just pathetic. If we're going to get somebody next to Sexy, let's get somebody in there while Sexy is still sexy. Because if you wait, 3 years, we'll wait 4 or 5 years before we get somebody else. Well, Sexy's up here, and somewhere along the line he's going to start, getting old and start kind of, his skill set's going to kind of go. Right? It's his 6th season. Man takes a lot of pounding. Right? Hey, some guys can play for whatever, 10, 11, 12 years or whatever. Let's hope so. But there's a point in time where they start kind of declining. Sexy's not going to be his 37th season still ascending. That's not happening. Oh, of course. We all miss Jones. But if we can get somebody next to, while he's still in his prime, right? That's why, I said, if you go back, let me just pull up, pull up these draft picks over the Giants. Do the sexy dance. I don't know where the hell he got that dance at. That's an odd dance, but let's do this here. New York Giants draft history. There we go. This should do it. But I said, if you go back and you look, we'll go back to the year 2000. The Giants have done very well at drafting like tackles, defensive linemen / defensive tackles. We'll go back to 2000 when they got Cornelius Griffin from Alabama. 2nd round, Cornelius Griffin from Alabama, defensive tackle, pick number 42. Very good. Unfortunately, the one thing the Giants have done a lot of with these defensive tackles is they have them for 4 years, and it's like, hey, get the out of here. We don't want you anymore. They've done that a lot, especially with Dalvin Tomlinson. And we're going to go over all these guys here, right? But let me just start at 2000 because I'm an idiot. I can't go back too far, especially remembering all these drafts and everything like that. But so Cornelius Griffin, he played 4 years, I think, with the Giants, and then he went to the Redskins. And I think that might be where he finished his career at. And he was still decent with the Redskins, but he was very good for the Giants. Very defensive tackle. Very, very good. He played next to the hammer. Right? All right, so we got, 2000 Cornelius Griffin. Let's see. It wasn't every year, but it was like every other year, every few years or so. We O.C. Manure, 2003, 2nd round pick. William Joseph. Oh, he was not. He was not, but O.C. was. William, let's see how long did William was with the Giants for 4 years. He wound up with 7 career sacks so he Joseph was not, but O.C. was obviously. So in the 2000 draft we had Cornelius Griffin. 2003 we drafted O.C. Manure in the 2nd round. All right, see, 2005 in the 3rd round, we drafted Justin Tuck. Thankfully, we kept O.C. and Tuck. Matthias Kiwanuka in 2006 in the 1st round, drafted him. He played his whole career, I think, with the Giants. A good, very good, solid pick. Nothing unbelievable, but obviously he was the last pick. We had him pick 32. So let's see here. We drafted Jay Alford in the 3rd round. Unfortunately, he got injured, so his career was cut short. He had a big sack in the Super Bowl. Let's see, 2009. Yeah. And of course, now we're going to get to 2010, where you got JPP first round, second round, Linville Joseph. I don't even know if the guy's still playing or not, but the guy's playing for like, I know the guy was playing last year. The guy's like, oh, he's on a different team every year, but the guy's around for almost forever. So in 2010, we drafted JPP and Linville Joseph. 2011, we drafted Marvin Austin in the second round. Not a good pick. This is kind of where, Reese, he started missing. The coverage started getting bare with Reese with these draft picks. 2011, we drafted the Prince in the first round, great pick. But then Marvin Austin, Jarrell Jernigan, James Brewer, Greg Jones, Tyler Sash, Jaquan Williams, Darrell Scott. Just bad picks, bad picks. Then you go to 2012, David Wilson, good pick. Unfortunately, the neck injury, ended his career very shortly, sadly. Then we drafted Ruben Randall. He played a grand total of 64 games. But J. Ron Hosley, Adrian Robinson, Brandon Mosley, Matt McCants, Marcus Kuhn. Just not good picks, not good drafts. The coverage started getting bad. Bad. Then 2013, Pugh and then Hankins. Okay. Good, solid pick. Second round, Jonathan Hankins, defensive tackle. 4 years, we let him go, right? But then after that, Demontre Moore, Ryan Nassib, Cooper Taylor, Eric Herman, Michael Cox. Bad drafts. Coverage started getting bare. Same thing here. Of course, 2014, of course, OBJ, right? And Weston Rickberg, right? But Jay Bromley, Andre Williams, Nate Burr, Devin Kennard, he played a bunch of games. But Bennett Jackson, we weren't not restocking the roster with a lot of good picks because the draft. After a draft, we might have two guys that might make really good to really help the roster. It's just as we started going along, more and more of these drafts started going by. His picks were not very good. Then of course, then we had this 2015. Eric Flowers, Landon Collins, but Diggy Zua, who didn't want to. He played a grand total of 18 games. Our third round pick. McKeely Thompson played one game. Jeremy Davis and Bobby Hart. Now Bobby Hart played a lot of games for the Bengals. Flowers played a lot for the. But that draft was hard. It was trash, straight up trash. Right? But let's see. I'm just trying to look at some more defensive tackles. Obviously, Dalvin Tomlinson, 2017. 4 years, we let him go. Let's see. Oh, B.J. Hill, 2018, third round pick. Of course, we traded him, and we didn't get. We got somebody in return for him who only played here 1 year. Price. Let's see. Of course, 2019, we got Sexy. We still have him. Thank goodness. Let's see. Ellerson Smith. Obviously, Kayvon. Yeah, so anyway, meanwhile, back at the ranch. But I said it would be nice to. The Giants had the best defense in the first five. Good defense. It's good. Yeah. All of a sudden, it's like, why do we suck so bad? What? It's just, yeah. Yeah. It's horrible. The run defense is just atrocious. And the one thing was when Bowen coming over from Tennessee, one of his biggest things was the run defense was supposed to be really good. And now it's like the run defense is not there, and we're not getting any sacks. That first half of the year, we had like 30-something sacks. We led the NFL. We were on pace to get like 70 sacks. It's like, wow, this is pretty good. Wow. We can't even touch the quarterback now. Much less a sack. Can't stop the run. We can't tackle anybody. We ain't sacking the quarterback. We're not getting any interceptions. We're not getting any fumbles. What are we doing? Holy cow. I don't know. I'll tell you what, boy, I'd love to maybe see Robert Saleh come in here. get that bald head on the sideline. He was a real good defensive coordinator. Maybe not so much of a good coach, but boy, he was a good defensive coordinator. I'll tell you what, I'd love to see him on the sideline. Absolutely. He did phenomenal with the 49ers. Let me tell you what. Oh, yeah, absolutely. But as I said, with Sexy, I mean, it would be nice to get somebody like what we had with Leonard Williams, right? We had Leonard Williams and we had Dexter Lawrence. The one year we had in 2020, the first year we got Leonard Williams. We had Leonard Williams, we had Sexy, and we had Dalvin Tomlinson. Unfortunately, after that season was over, you know, we were paying Sexy, right? He was a first round pick, right? So we had to pay him, but we had to re-sign Leonard Williams, I think it was, and then Dalvin Tomlinson was going to want whatever. I forgot what he signed for. And the thing is like you can only keep one of them. So it's like we had to let Dalvin Tomlinson go to keep Leonard Williams, you know. But unfortunately, we drafted Dalvin Tomlinson. It was not phenomenal as far as a pass rusher, but he was really good in the run game. Really good in the run game. And, you know, if you go back in 2020, our run defense was decent. Wasn't too bad. I think we gave up like 4 yards a carry, somewhere around there. I mean, nowadays we're giving up like 5 yards a carry. It's like, you know, I said, but that 1 year, 2020, we were like about 4 yards float, maybe a little over 4 yards a carry. No, that's respectable. I mean, that, you know, okay, that's not bad. You can live with that. 5 yards a carry, boy. I'll tell you what, that's just too much. Way too much. But so unfortunately, you know, I mean, our season just keeps. It's amazing how some teams' seasons just keep going like this, right? And the Giants just. I mean, there's nothing. Absolutely nothing goes right for the Giants. They're just straight down. Nothing. You know, I mean, you get teams like the Eagles who have a great team, but like you know, it's like everybody's healthy on the team. Other teams, you know, like the 49ers, the whole team's injured. McCaffrey was injured. I forgot what was wrong with him. Then he came back for like 3 games. Now he's back on the injury reserve. The whole 49er team is injured. Meanwhile, the Eagles, who have a great team, everybody's happy. I think they lost. They lost one of their guys, but I mean, other than that, everybody's pretty much healthy. Nobody's injured. You know, everything's just, you know, the Chiefs. I mean, the only way they can win a game is somebody's got to fumble a snap. I mean, I can't stand it. Absolutely can't stand it. And then meanwhile, the Giants is absolutely nothing goes right for them. Absolutely nothing. The Giants just unbelievable. It's like you're just living in a nightmare. It's just one bad thing after the other. So the Giants, obviously. So with Davidson, he got nicked up against the Cowboys. Nacho had a stinger. Sexy, his season's over with. So the Giants lost 60% of their defensive line. So the Giants, I think, at the end of the game had Jordan Riley and Chapman in there, right? I think those are like their 2 defensive linemen that they had in there. I mean, you also kind of wonder why we couldn't stop the run. I mean, you know, not that the guys didn't try or anything like that, but, you know, to have both those guys on the field and both those guys basically be your main defensive tackles, it's asking for trouble. So.